taken before his time, far before his time.
An orc in love. Ha! When this little Sharon pig shall liberate the flesh from her
Back into the fray.
your king can now handle this threat for all our bringing the little goat to shelter and here is like bringing a wolf to a
We need Lord help. She's right. Are these the biggest buckets we've got? We're gonna need more than a few buckets to save her. Drizzle, just tell you.
Isn't even higher? Our home, our livelihood, all sunk in a matter of minutes while we could do naught but look on. Ah, these bleeding orcs, they can't keep off this place for the life of them. They came in here slinging fireballs and swinging swords. That was a right stunning show of magic you pulled, it was. Wish you'd been around when our own barge went down in flames. Well, we were merchants what seemed like a moment ago. With our ship sunk, we're little more than 3 men with nothing more to say than boo. With our ship gone, nothing for... Have you found us a job yet? We'll take anything. Well, we were... Ah, these... Well, that was a...
Have you found us a job yet? We'll take anything. Well, we were merchants. What seems like a moment. These bleeding... That was a right stunning show of mag...
Have you found us a job yet? That was a right stuff.
Is it so?
Sauce? Here? Inside Seal? Bah! Of all the cursed hunks of rocks, a ship's got a soul too, you know. You did a mighty fine thing saving that barge. For those of us raised in crews instead of who knows if it's even over for sure.
Sauce? Here, inside.
Ahoy, sailor! Are you enjoying the fresh winds of Sicile? Name's Conrad, cargo trader, sea captain, an expert in all things nautical. Folks across Andervale know to give all... Those orcs must be out of their barbarous minds launching an attack on a city. I'll tell you, the only time I'd consider waging a suicide campaign like that would be if whatever I sought was something worth dying over.
Loves him.
I wouldn't let an orc within 500 yards of my loving nature.
Psst. Ever hear about the time the captain took the Duchess of Federal's carriage for a joyride?
Ha! No, he didn't. He drove it straight to the pub and back.
Oh, and don't forget the time he got caught passing a love note to the Lizard Councillor's wife.
Is that why we never sail to Yuthel Gore anymore?
Speaking of youthful gore, that loopy legionnaire really thinks that orchid charm loves him.
I wouldn't let an orc within 500 yards of my loving nature.
Psst. Ever hear about the time the captain took the Duchess of Federal's carriage for a joyride?
Ha! No, he didn't. He drove it straight to the pub and back.
Oh, and don't forget the time he got caught passing a love note to the Lizard Council's wife.
Is that why we never sail to Youthful Gore anymore?
Speaking of youthful gore, that loopy legionnaire really thinks that Orky charm loves him.
I wouldn't let an orc within 500 yards of my loving nature.
Shores? Here? Inside Seal? Bah! Of all the cook...
No, indeed. He drove it straight to the pub and back.
Oh, and don't forget the time he got caught passing a love note to the Lizard Council's wife.
Is that why we never sail to Youthful Gore anymore?
Really? The greatest warriors in Rivellon can't cross a rope.
Yeah, really thinks that Orky charm
Oh, hail the rain spirit. That was a fine display of magicianship.
Yes, honest pay for an honest
Save that
pay.
sheep all by your lonesome. Quite the feat. If I had the magic touch about...
I don't know how you'd...
I don't know how.
I can't even smell the sea air over this rock.
Steady, boys. Steady. We'll be leaving as soon as we're packed up. All careful now. Never know when those green beasts are gonna launch another black...
Plenty of fish in the sea, but I've got the foulest of the lot on my racks. Never been homesick a day in my life. And
Side sail, shiver me timbers and sliver me heels.
plenty of fish in the sea, but I've got the foulest of the lot on my racks. I can't even smell the sea air over this rock. I can't even smell the sea air over this rock.
Salutations! Source hunters, I see. This is a storing house for Legion supplies. Perhaps the most important building in the realm. Courteous is my name.
Well, a source?
Well, a source hunter. About time the council took us seriously. Maybe you can start with the two idiots hiding their pet orchid.
Too bad indeed. Not even a skeptic like you can deny that she loves me.
An orc in love. Ha! When this little... Ah! Who better than a proven orc crusher to convince my...
Enough of that. I know how dangerous an orc can be, but this one has been reformed. Anyone can see that she's completely docile. But my prejudiced friend here still wants to kill her. My friend here and I were patrolling outside the city walls, when who did I see creeping along the shore but this lovely orcish lady? Perhaps confused by the butterflies in her stomach, she sprang up and began running, claws bared towards Marius. Fortunately for him, I had the presence of mind to ignore my sword. A vial of love potion shattered over her head, and when she turned to face me, I'm sure she must have been compelled to join the Orcish army under some kind of duress.
Ha! I can assure you there wasn't a hint of sweet...
I've always had an amateur interest in all things alchemical. When I read in an esteemed periodical from the wizard, I sent away for the world-famous love potion, available for a limited time only, and it has...
You see what a fool my friend has been, spending all his cash on snake...
What kind of monster would lie?
You see, he'd believe it was noon at midnight if he read it on a printed pamphlet.
Let her live. If that potion were truly worthless, it wouldn't have been able to charm her in the first place. In this docile state, she may prove to be a source of valuable information.
You're right. The information...
Bravo! I trust not only...
You're going to regret this.
Too bad indeed. Not even a skeptic like you can deny that she loves me.
An orc in love. Ha! When this little chap fades, she'll liberate the flesh from our faces.
Come now, enough doom and gloom. Cast your gaze instead upon my fair, fanged filly.
Reeking, rotting sea garbage.
Say, no one's around. You wouldn't raise a fuss if I...
Borrow, indeed. I'll sooner meet a cat wizard than see that merchant repaid.
Come now, I'll be good for it, I swear! I never would have dreamt of resorting to petty theft during better times, but what choice have I got now? If it's steal or stuff. So what do you think? Should I snag a
That merchant has to eat too, you know. Leave the fish alone.
Yes, you know what they say about giving a...
I suppose you've got a point. Fed a hungry man, you know.
That thief is free for now, but I wonder how long it'll be until his growling... Thank you for making that would-be thief see... That thief is free for now, but I wonder how long it'll be until his growling belly seduces him back onto the crooked path.
Better solution to the zombie problem than a set of silver arrows. Fresh haddock, perfect for a fry-up. No better solution to the zombie problem than a set of silver arrows.
Oh, it never ends.
Don't scuttle away before you've tried some of... I listened in. Don't scuttle away before you've tried some of the ocean's finest bounty. How many crab claws would you like? 3? 11?
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Let us see if you can choose the finest greens. Good day.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Not in the mood for cheese. The excuse is more holes than a slice of this fine almond bread.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes. Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Not in the mood for cheese.
Well, what sort of...
Holes than a slice of this fine almond bread.
But if one were to reduce the... Oh, a source hunter. Imagine that. Quite a bit more... No matter. Even if it couldn't spare its heartiest specimen, I'm sure the order sent the individual... Sorry, but there isn't much work for sailors in a house of medicine. Unless one of them happens to have a secret stash of healing stones. Certainly, what would you like to know? The counsellor. Terrible loss, that. Though we were hardly more than acquaintances, I knew him to be a devoted civil servant. From what I can tell, it seems to be a simple case of jealousy turned violent. The affairs of his wife, Esmeralda, were hardly a secret, you know. I've applied myself to that problem for 2 years and still haven't come I declare it an act of the Almighty's, if I believed in such things. Some events, Source Hunter, can be neither... Me? Why, I'm more... It was I who cured the Duchess of Arata of her unslakable thirst. A simple pinch of Atropa belladonna in her morning tea. I who did not to mention that it's been my guidance that has permitted my apprentice Evelyn to make quite a name for herself around Sicile of late. Well, she certainly possesses a critical eye and an exacting manner when it comes to... I expect she'll be a very successful healer in her own right when the time comes. She has learned... Yes. If that's how we're referring... She's in the other room as we speak. Perhaps you can prevail upon her to offer a demonstration. She's gotten hold of a stone, supposedly capable of fantastic feats of healing. But she claims to have gotten the relic from a little northern town, Silverglen by name, and that an abbot there blessed... Utter rubbish, I say. But with these blasted undead haunting the travel routes, I can hardly march up to Silverglen. To what do I owe the repeated pleasure, Source Hunter?
Inexplicable magic. Anybody? Neither of you cares to plead for his very existence?
Sorry, but,
So, which of you is more deserving of life? Excuse me? This is a private sick room. Who in the name of the Seven do you think you... Oh, I'm sorry. It's this task. I'm just... Who am I to meddle with life and death? I'm an apprentice of the healing arts. Healing. But this decision feels like precisely the opposite. I've been racking my brain trying to decide on the best method to settle this grave situation. But perhaps it's better off in the hands of an esteemed source hunter. What would you like to know? One of the brave few willing to traverse the trade routes plagued by the undead. A young man, but excellent in matters of business, before he fell victim to an orcish club in the north, that is. Thankfully for him, a cattle trader found him, nearly dead, but not quite so. Quite the venerable staple of Sicile, Stephen, and recently blessed with his 3rd grandchild. He was leading a crew of builders when a stray beam struck him in the temple, and only a few days shy of his last day. Nearly everyone in Sicile is... Yes, a curious relic indeed. I got it from a kindly... I myself was nothing if not skeptical of his claims, but something happened as he handed me the stone. But it's strange. You are?
Boris's life has just begun. We can't cut it short now. He should receive the stone.
Tenderfoot so long.
Yes, Boris deserves...
Boris it is? Yes, I'll deliver the stone.
Thank
No,
the Seven.
no, this is highly abnormal. What is this? This lightning?
What happened? Is this a dream?
I don't think so. That stone. Somehow, it sent us flying into the stars.
Terrible, terrible, terrible. By the quill that lasts a billion words, what's this? 2 Rivalonians here? At the end of space and time? How very, very, very curious. Perhaps my new... We stand on a tiny vestige of space. It's good you appeared, however you did it, precisely when and where you did, or you might have found yourself free. Oh, but I suppose I should make a proper introduction. Zigzags the historian at your service. It is my job to record all that was. At last, a question I can answer most definitively. Time time ought naturally to have no end at all. Indeed, I can think of no worse nightmare for a chronicler such as myself. Show, don't tell, I always say. So go, peer through yonder...
Might be quite mad.
You looked. You saw. Terrifying, isn't... What's this? The portal. It's... The portal has become active. Fantastic. Astounding. Onward we should go. The portal. It's quite sprung to life. Just like the long... You, dear stranger, you must be the key. Something about your presence here is causing the end of time. Those torches, alight! This portal active once more. It cannot be coincidence. Goodness me, how right you are. There's so much to take in, I'd nearly forgotten. It is the void itself. The dragon that is I can't say for sure where it came from, how or why, but I do know this. It's shrinking our future by the second. And if we don't... It's not that I believe, it's that I have seen. Then, no longer than a few mere moments after you arrive, zap it though I cannot say for certain if it is. In fact, every last question that ever plagues your noggin might... But why spoil the mystery? After you... You first, but don't dilly-dally. Onward! For... You first, but don't dilly-dally.
And he's off.
It seems the imp has spotted exactly who and what he'd hoped to find here.
The last test! If you believe yourself worthy of rifling through my ample treasures, I do dare you to prove it!
Could it be, milady? The weaver of time?
Indeed, Sir Imp. As surely as you are he who chronicled...
Astounding! Unbelievable!
You have brought guests, I see.
My reaction exactly, milady. It was their arrival here at the end of time.
This is a question better put to our guests themselves. Tell us, how did you arrive upon this plane? A stone. So, It was a stone that caused the great shock of... Not like this, no. What happened? Never had I experienced something so contrary to my nature. To weave, but yours has. You appeared before me from the moment you came into contact with that
But, Madam Weaver, how is it possible? Do you...
Like the stones, your guests are a mystery to me. Source hunters. It would seem that yourselves and Starstone are inextricably linked. Why and how, I cannot say. Starstone is not what it seems, Source Hunter. Its true nature... Do you see what violence my work has suffered? What...
Mysteries of all time. Gaps in history.
It would appear that Starstone transforms at your touch.
I see.
Yes. Though I cannot explain why this... If we do not restore time, if we do not discover the true nature of these stones, the void will consume us all. Indeed you must, though I may not yet understand why. It seems that you and you alone can...
Why, of course! That's what they were doing. I have recorded their doings, you see. Collectors of Starstone, more...
Without these stones, Hunter, there will be no Rivellon. The entire town...
That shall never be, milady. As sure as Zix comes before Zax, we will put a stop to it. Please, our most mysterious guest, are you ready? Are you willing? Come.
Not but a moment ago, we were hunting Source in Rivellon. And now, we're being told that we alone can prevent the end of time by way of some magical stones. What do you make of it?
We can't deny our reaction to Starstone. There must be something to all of this, mad as it may seem.
Do tell. What'll it be, Source Hunter? Do tell. What'll it be, Source Hunter? Do tell.
No matter how improbable, any...
So, what do you think, Source Hunter? The glint in your gaze and the set of your brow suggest to me that you know with you searching out Starstone, I believe we'll mend the tapestry in no time. But you'll need a way to travel between Rivellon and this homestead, won't you? Luckily, the power of portals is known to you, so I'll let you in on the little secret of how to transport back. Off you go, then. You've Starstone to find, and I've a tapestry to examine. Surely there must be some clue here as to...
Cross my heart, hope to fade in the void. I honestly don't...
Like the imp said to the ballista operator, wouldn't it just... Would that I had a star... Just like yourselves, Starstones are cured. From what I can gather, though, they were once cherished. Ruins, caves, neither do I. But the mere fact that activated Starstone has set the Weaver of Time weaving... This in turn more than implies that you are the Void's natural enemy, for it is you who is setting new events. We may not understand the how yet, but our aim is clear. We shall save creation from the lonesome observing the frontier. Well, yes, actually. I don't mean to. Perhaps you can imagine the I don't know if I'm... But of course. So, before you go, I hope he'll be able to help you as much as he can. The Lady of Time, the Weaver of History. I am your biggest fan, dear lady. Could I get your autograph?
It shall be my pleasure, Sir Imp.
Source Hunters, I welcome you once again to the realm of Rivellon after your travels through the chasms of space. Nice to have found a shelter, wouldn't you agree? Where you can come to no harm.
Here over this rot.
I know the imp historian has told you about his agent on Rivellon, and that agent is I. So now that you know of the alliance between me and Sir Zigzags, let us turn to the business at hand. Starstone.
Size seals, shiver me timbers and sliver me heels.
And I'll be delighted to give it. Dark. It can therefore hardly be a coincidence that Councillor Jake was a collector of the stones we seek. His foul murder and the plight of dying that means the task you have been given remains crucial. Find the assassin that did away with Jake, for you're bound to stumble. While you were being lectured by our friend the historian, and the advantage of being a cat, you know. You go where you please with impunity. That's where I saw them in a cabinet. Mere slivers, but specks of starstones nonetheless. They lay there, silent, and don't we all long for a sanctuary where our worldly troubles can be held at bay? But perhaps I speak only for myself, not for... Like any cat worth its salt, though, Let me phrase it like Zigzags might. A universe without time, I'll not pretend to have all the answers, all that I understand, all that is happening here. If Zigzags worries, I worry. We are talking... I met him first, a long time ago, out in the wastes of Youthful Gore. He wondered aloud what on earth a cat was doing. So I told him who I was and showed him my human form. In the end, he even shared his great sorrow with me. The unspeakable thing you saw through his looking lens. Oh, before you go, here, take this teleporter pyramid. You'll need the other one too if you want to make use of its powers, but alas, I seem to have misplaced. Now that this matter has been settled, Hunters, I shall detain you no longer. But rest assured, I'll do my share of hunting too. So if...
Slimy, reeking, rotting sea garbage.
My gods! What is going on here? First I have to shoo away a creeping white tomcat, and now there's a perfect stranger in my bathroom. Get out, will you? A magical pyramid, eh? Frivolous and lecherous magic, more. Out! Now, if you please! This room is private. stand there. Go! Away with you! What are you still doing here? Begone!
The seven grant abundance.